How's it going today, guys? We're here to check out the top submitted skins this week. For new people, that does not mean all of these skins will make it, sadly. Only 8 are chosen every week. So these are just the potential skins for this week. And yeah, check back on Thursday to see which ones actually made it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We've got quite a few things for you today. So we've got this tiger shark hoodie and pants set, which is pretty cool. So up here you got like a little shark head and some lifeless eyes. There's a, like a doll, Jaws reference. Anyways, yeah, and it's got like some little wraps and over here and there, but it's kind of got like this little ocean blue camo thing going on, and then you've got like the white belly like a shark, and even some little shark teeth around on the edges there. Next, we've got a set for you, and this is the Not a Heavy Scientist set by Duck. And usually I only do hoodie and pants, but the gloves kind of seal the whole thing together. So, went ahead and just kind of showed the whole thing here. But yeah, it's a hoodie and pants made to kind of mimic as best as you could with the space given, the same colors and theme of the Heavy Scientist suit. So here you've got, kind of like the, yellow gloves. You even got like the dirt and grime on the pads and pants, and yeah, just the whole thing is absolutely cool. It's really cool to see when artists take something from in the game and bring it to life in a different way. Next, we've got something a little bit more on the brighter side for you, and this is the Chameleon set by Little Ranger, and yeah, it's kind of got this material. It kind of looks like it's made out of like space blankets or insulation kind of thing. And then it's got this very kind of metallic thing going on. And then there's a little shirt underneath with a chameleon in there. So, that fits into the name as well. But I'm sure it's kind of the color changing kind of vibe that people would call a chameleon. And then, of course, here on the back under the hoodie, you've got the same little chameleon hanging out on a stick. Definitely a very unique looking set. I could see a lot of people liking a lot. Next up, we've got a continuation in the whiteout set with the whiteout gloves and boots. Now, the gloves are just normal leather gloves. Right now, I know Hulk is preferring Roadsign gloves since they just became skinnable a while ago. So we may not see these gloves. Also, to the artist, if you're listening, watching this video, make some Roadsign version because, yeah, Hulk might wait to accept the boots until they're Roadsign ones. He didn't say anything. That's not feedback from him. That's just my experience of what I've been seeing. So. Hanging on to the boots here, as you can see, it's, pretty much everything you would expect. It's the blackout set, but white. Next, we've got a very unique jacket skin for you. This is the Feather Cloak by Anathan, and yeah, it's really hard to kind of make, work with the space that you have in the confines of this, because, I don't know how much you guys know about skinning, if you're not a skinner, but you are confined to a certain space. You can't sculpt out of it. So it's really hard to make things look 3D and pop out, so forth, if it wasn't meant to originally. And so I think this is really well done with the skulls. They don't look too bad or too stretched. A little bit here on the arm, but there's not much you can do about that. And the feathers actually do look pretty much like, huge raven feathers or something. And I think that's a really awesome effect. Next, we've got the Roadsign Corrupted set. We already have a kilt, so the chest and coffee can helmet were missing. So, of course, here they are, and it's everything you know from the set. You've got that digital skeleton going on with all sorts of little ones and zeros and error messages all about. There's even a, I like this kind of like swirl right here. It almost looks like a connection on the strap is a fan from far away. And I just like it. I think the whole thing has been a pretty popular set, and this just ties together the Roadsign. Everyone really likes to see completed things, so that just makes sense. You got the big old errors there, and right on the middle of the forehead, which I thought was great placement. Next up, we've got 2 high qual sets, starting with this one for you. This is the Desert Storm high qual set. And yeah, well, obviously it's meant to, match the desert. So we've got this, heavy plate right here. There's a big old zipper down the middle, and you can even see some of the metal, the paint is kind of scraping off, especially right here on the actual, like, straps. And yeah, so it has a nice kind of like worn, torn look to it. You can even see that here on the mask itself. The top of it looks like a nice breathable mesh with some straps, so that was done really well there, I think. And if you check out the back of it, same kind of thing, just, some armored plates with some wear and tear and that nice desert camo. I can see a lot of people really liking this set because we don't have too many desert high qual sets. Next up and last for our armor and clothing, we've got the fantasy set for you, and this one's got all sorts of little artwork on it. There's like an octopus and skulls, and I think it's like a cactus with eyes, peace written all over it. The face mask has this very silly look on it with the 2 buck teeth and a tongue sticking out. Well, the tongue about to be stuck out, I guess. And yeah, the longer you look at it, there's all sorts of little things you'll see alongside it. Definitely a bright little set I could see a lot of people getting into. Next up, we've got our deployables, and it looks like we're seeing a rehash of the camouflage set. It looks like Milo has jumped back into it, and we've got the camouflage sleeping bag. So yeah, it's got a big old giant set of udders here on the front, and a little tail coming out even. You got some stitching, and then we've got that same little weird udder keychain that's been on all of them, and then this very kind of confused, flattened looking cow pillow. I love the expression on its face. It's just great. It's like, why are you sleeping on me? Why did I get turned into a sleeping bag? It's good. Next, we've got a couple furnaces for you. Starting with this one right here, we've got the Miner's Furnace by Dio, and the whole thing just kind of looks like a big old crusty mine with some crystals and stuff sticking out. I do have to say I love the sculpting on this, but it's a bit of a missed opportunity that the crystals don't light up with the furnace. Next, we've got a mean furnace for you over here. This is the Steel Devil Furnace by Johnny. And yeah, I mean, it pretty much lives up to its name. It's this big steel furnace. I mean, look, there's even details down in here. You can see it's got that like swirl pattern going on. There's the teeth. Then you've got this kind of cluster of a design down here. And it has just a bit of a mission coming through on it, which we'll be able to see here when we check it out at night. Moving on, we got some boxes for you. Starting over here, it is a continuation in the Dragon Horn set with a small box. And so got all your good glowiness with that dragon on it. And along the sides here, you can see some more molten goodness as you would expect. Next, we've got another box. This one's a little bit on the sillier side. This is the Baby Dragon wooden storage box, I guess. I'm not sure how this is exactly a dragon. I think at one point it was even named Puppy at one point, but yeah, it seems to be changing its name. One way or another, the whole thing is kind of like a mimic in a way. You know, it's got teeth and a face, and I don't know, I wouldn't trust it. Next, we've got a very beautiful glowy box for you over here. This is the Future Wave box, a continuation in that set. And as you can see here, it's got a beautiful background of various rust monuments and a gigantic moon out in the background. On the side here, you can see kind of like a trimmed down version of it. And on the big side, you've got it there again with the Future Wave name. Next, we've got a rug for you. And this one is Grandma's old rug, and yeah, it's just one of those kind of things. We don't have too many rug skins, and this one just really has some nice colors to it. There's some little drawings of some rams and so forth there. Definitely a nice little rug. Moving on, we've got a vending machine here, and this one is the weapons vending machine. No, it's just weapons vending machine. Well, it would probably be called like neon weapon vending machine, I guess, at some point. But yeah, if you actually look really close, you can see there's AK, LR, a SAR. That one, I'm not sure. I think that one got scraped off. Then you got the DB and the rocket launcher. So that's pretty cool there. And then, of course, you've got the neon AK and the weapons, you know, right there. And if we take a look on the side, you can see there's like a neon that goes through, shows on both sides there. And there's a little neon light above the back, which we'll be able to see much better here at night. Next, we've got doors, starting with a couple of wooden doors for you guys. This one right here is a continuation in the gallery set by Sadist, and yeah, it's got all sorts of little gallery pictures from Rust. You gotta love that. And then the door itself kind of looks like woven twigs, which is a neat little effect. On the back here, you can see the same thing. It's reinforced with some planks, but mostly woven twigs. And, of course, there's a little map just like on the other one. Moving on over here, we've got another wooden door for you. This is the Evolved Wooden Door. And yeah, it's got this little kind of like skull, mutant skull kind of thing, and some biohazard symbols, but you know, it looks like it used to be locked off. There's even some green leaky goop there, but it's starting to overgrow with some plants. We go ahead and check out the back. You can see it's growing over even more back here. And there's some kind of weird, sketchy stuff in the door here. Some glowy handprints and stuff, so very, very interesting. Also, you gotta love the still up. That's a nice little addition. Next, we've got this double wooden door for you, and this one is the butterfly wooden door. Who would have thought? It's got all sorts of little drawings on it. It kind of has that kind of kid vibe going to it, or the friendliness kind of thing going on. And this, you know, hand-drawn little butterfly with its very kind of like stained glass wings. And then on the other side, we've got lots of little kind of smaller butterflies all around. So it's a very happy door. You know, something you can put, you know, on your, you know, chit shack in the beginning and be like, hey, you know, I have something nice to look at while I'm being murdered repeatedly over and over and over and over again. Moving on to the sheet metal doors, we've got a fancy door over here. This is the Ancient Glory door. And yeah, it's just got this nice matte black color with some nice gold designs and trims to it. And, whoa, that was a little too close. Yeah, definitely a very nice looking door. Next, we've got a continuation in the card doors. This is the Queen Metal door by Vase, and as you can see, we've got a queen with a custom SMG, some Roadsign gloves, and a very royal-looking coffee can helmet. You gotta love how the cards themselves have been adapted to looking like Rust characters. This queen is ready to take some names. And yeah, other things with the door, you know, pretty much just looks like it's a card made out of sheet and scrap. Next over here, we've got a very beautiful artistic door for you. This is the Lighthouse sheet door. And this whole thing kind of looks like it's made out of metal panels riveted together. There's this beautiful just lighthouse floating there in the middle. And it's just a great little memento to the monument in game that's been around for so long. Next over here, we've got a scribbly door for you. This is the calligraphy. Oh, calligraffiti. Sorry. Calligraffiti door. They're making me say all sorts of words I'm just having problems with. One way or another, it's graffiti, but in the art of calligraphy. So there you go. Anyways, this door is something I can see a lot of people liking just for the gold and silver itself. Next, we've got a double sheet door for you. This one looks like it belongs in El Dorado, and that might be because it's the El Dorado double door. Some giant gemstone eyes and teeth, and you got some emeralds there. And yeah, definitely something that looks like Indiana Jones would be going through it soon. Next, we've got a garage door for you. This is the helicopter crash garage door. And it comes in two versions, a glow and not glow. We'll show you the glow, of course. And yeah, the whole thing just kind of has like a graffiti vibe. The Rust helicopter is, you know, going down there in the background. And yeah, it's got some kind of like little sheet metal right here, which I thought looked quite nice. And there you go. Excuse me. Next, we've got a couple armor doors for you for once. Right here, we've got the surgery door. This one is very detailed and sculpted, and man, it really looks like this would be such a hard door to get through. It looks like it has various flaps for it. I'm not sure what that would do down there. This one looks like a safe pass-through. You know, you'd like open it up and be able to pass something through, and then of course you've got your little viewing window right there. We pass through on the other side, and with armor doors, sides can always be different, so this is really nice. You've got this really kind of torn fabric on the insulation on this side. Oh, there we go. See, it was a disposal. There. Now we know. So, should have looked on the back. The bottom one that I didn't think was anything is a disposal, and the middle one was attached to whatever this medical access flap is right there. So there you have it. Then, over here, we've got another door for you. This is the Arctic armored door. And yeah, it's got that classic military look, of course, with the Arctic or snow theme going behind it. It's quite rusty. Looks like this one has seen plenty of blizzards and snowstorms, because you know how snow can just be with the rusting. And then it's even got quite a few rusty bullet holes in it even. Then if we pop on through here, you can see the back. Warning, authorized personnel only. There you go. A lot more of the kind of camo vibe there. Then, lastly, we've got a double armor door for you, and this one is themed after the Bradley, thus is named the Bradley Armored Door. And yeah, it's just all made up of various different pieces of the Bradley itself, as you can see. Then in the back here, you've got the two panels, the B-22, and the, I like the flaps. They actually kind of have like the little bars and so forth. That's a nice little detail addition there. All right, so there's our furnaces. You can see how it comes through right here. It's a really neat little effect. We got our boxes here. Then we got the neon in this one. The little toxic glow on this door. Glow on the lighthouse. It's quite beautiful. Even the keyhole lights up. And then lastly, we've got the helicopter garage. And it basically just looks like the little lights shining down on it, which is a pretty neat effect. Alright, let's jump into our weapons and tools. Starting out, we've got a hammer for you. And this one is a silly little hammer. It is the toy car hammer. And yeah, it's got the little Hazzy guy driving it. It says tools there on the back. Definitely a cool little hammer. And it also does have some glow. The little light on the top as well as the head and tail lights do light up. Next, we've got another hammer for you. And this one has like a little map on it. It says the hard way. And yeah, this one just has a lot of creativity to it. It's definitely a neat little hammer. Next, we've got a rock for you. And this one is an opal. And it's got that nice mossy stone there. And then you can see the beautiful opal poking through. This is definitely a nice gemstone rock I could see selling quite well. Next, we've got a set of tools for you, and these are the salty stone tools. And yeah, they've got kind of this little wooden wrapped handle, and then this very, like, I guess it's a salt stone? Yeah, so, salt, you know, you can just make the jokes with Rust, you know? And of course, it has to have a matching pickaxe. There you go. Next, we've got a continuation in the gem set, or Prisma set, sorry, with the Prisma Bone Club and Knife. So here's the Bone Club, right there, boom. There you have it. Let's go ahead and grab the next set of stuff and check out the Bone Knife. Alright, so there's the Bone Knife. Definitely pretty fitting. I can see a lot of people loving this rainbowy knife to shank people. or carve up their favorite meal. Next, we've got a hatchet and pickaxe for you. And these have a little lightning kind of thing going on. This is the Singularity hatchet and pickaxe set. And yeah, you can see it's kind of got that little light singularity going on right there. These are definitely ones, too, that look not as good in the pictures as they do in-game. So there is that. And a lot of people are going to ask, does it glow? These are kind of glowy. There's kind of like an emission to them. So we'll be sure to show that as well. And, of course, the matching pickaxe. Then we've got a Jackhammer for you. This one is a continuation in the Azul set. So, of course, it is the Azul Jackhammer. And, yeah, this one has really nice kind of like copper and brass highlights. It's actually mostly copper looking, actually. And then you got that little bit of steel in between the blue art. And, yeah, I just think this thing has a very kind of like a steampunky but new vibe to it. And I think that's quite nice. Next, we've got a couple bows for you, starting with this bow right here. This is the Urban Ice Bow by Call Me Tommy. And makes sense. As you can see, it kind of has that gray and white kind of camo going to it. And then it's also got the holes and kind of a more metallic look to it. Go ahead and do a little spin around. There we go. And then we've got another bow for you. This one is definitely metallic. The whole bow itself now looks like it's made out of metal. This is the Lightweight Bow by Rob. There you go. Has a nice little black rubber grip. And we'll do a little spin. Next, we've got a Crossy for you. This one is part of the Bite set. So this, of course, then is the Death Bite Crossbow. There you have it. Go ahead and reload that. Aiming down the sights, you can actually see there are quite a few bites in it. Like, there we go. If we aim down, you can see. I don't know what's been biting into metal, but that's kind of scary. And you can actually see, like, all the welding, and there's even rebar sticking through in the bottom there. And those wraps are red, but they also look kind of bloody, so I'm not sure about that there. Definitely a neat-looking crossbow. Next, we've got a continuation in the Prism set with the Prism... Light Prism, sorry. SAR. So there you have it. It's got a nice little rainbow effect and everything you would expect. And there's that kind of a greenish kind of blue color highlighting around it there. You got a nice rainbow wrap around the grip and up around the front grip. Aiming down the sides, you've got a little sun and a rainbow. And yeah, you've got two kind of like triangle diamonds kind of to help you focus in there. I don't know. For me, I don't know if that distracts me more or helps me more. Then we'll go ahead and do that reload. There we go. Next, we've got custom for you. And yeah, this one right here is the Geometric Custom SMG. And you can see why, because it's got all these kind of like geometric shapes on it. And it's very gold and shiny. Aiming down the sights, there's actually a gauge back here, which looks like it's about to hit its maximum. I'm not quite sure what kind of gauge, but definitely cool. We'll go ahead and pop a reload for it. There. Next, we've got an AK for you, and this is the second version of the Gentleman's AK. It's been updated to have more of a card theme to it, so you can see the top of it there kind of has like roulette table kind of vibe. And then you've got the hearts, spades, diamonds, and clubs all there on the side for you. Aiming down the sights, got a big old club for you. And a red, but not glowing, tip to the side. Then we've got another AK for you. This one is also a version 2. This is the Piano AK V2. And yeah, as you can see, there's like some notes written there on the side. And you've got a 6-volt battery. That's, you know, part of the mag there. Definitely creative. Got a little face punch dude there. And then you got the two face punch eyes there on the side as well. And then the tip itself is like this kind of like metallic blue with red tips. So that's actually something quite different there. And then we'll go ahead and do a reload. Last in this group, we've got another AK for you. This one is quite cool. It is the Splash AK-47 by Slime. And as you can see, it is definitely a splash. It's got this crazy kind of metallic blue with a splash of even more different blues and grays going on it. And yeah, it's got kind of, you know, kind of a newer look to it with the grips and so forth, you know. The tape and the rubber looks a little bit on the newer side, but the thing also has quite a bit of wear and tear. And the tips are actually kind of like a copper with black tips there. And you've also got this kind of sculpted like X into the back with a panel there, which is quite cool. Next up, we've got another V2 for you. This is the Modern Marauder AK. And it's seen a bit of an update, and yeah, you've got this green and black camo between these very clean black and green sections on the AK itself. And yeah, it looks like the textures have been updated. The colors, it also seems a lot less dark in game, so that's a nice improvement. Aiming down the sights, you got a little skull staring back at you, and then you can see the tips are actually a matching green, and then the other ones are, I don't know if it's just the light or if they're different colors. That's hard to tell. But one way or another, there's that. And let's pop a reload. Next, we've got one last AK for you in the group. This is the Combat Ambulance AK. And yeah, it's a really cool idea. This thing's got, you know, the whole medical vibe going on. It's got the green from our med kits in game, which matches. It even has a blood bag on the one side. So here, flip again. Yep, there it is. There's that blood bag. And yeah, it's really hard to kind of sculpt that kind of stuff in. So I think a lot of work was really put into this one. You can really tell on the details to it for sure with that. Aiming down the sights, you've got some silver tips on a red tipped sight. Go ahead and pop that reload for you. And there we have it. Next, we've got a couple LRs for you, starting with this one right here, and this is the Obsidian LR, and yeah, this one's kind of fancy looking. Whole body looks like it's made out of some sculpted obsidian, which would make this thing incredibly heavy and impractical, but hey, that's a cool thing about video games, right? We can make stuff look cool in ways they normally wouldn't. And yeah, it's quite nice. It has these kind of gold little highlights to it here and there throughout to the details. It's always nice when you got something that's one color, but it's broken up with lots of nice details. Aiming down the sights, you've got the same gold on black going on there. And we'll go ahead and pop a reload. And I also love that there's part of like a transparent part there, so all the silver you can see is actually the clip itself, which is really cool. Next, we've got another LR for you, and this one is the Cracked Depths LR. And yeah, you can see, you know, sure enough, it's got this kind of gray, stony material with some cracks going through it, and there is some kind of kraken coming up through there. You got the tentacles coming up, poking on through, ready to come out of the depths. And again, this gun also has a very great example of breaking up the details with some small color highlights there. Aiming down the sights, you've got a bright yellow to contrast with the kind of black on silver there. And lastly, but not least, we've seen a continuation in the fish set. And it's not clothing, it's a rocket launcher, and it just works so well. That fisheye and the scales, and then the ropes just work with the hook and everything, and yeah, it's just absolutely hilarious. Look at this thing. Aiming down the sights there for you. And let's go ahead and... Wow, there aren't really any trees nearby, guys. Oh, actually, no, here we go. We got plenty of trees out back. Let's aim for that big oak. Well, we hit it, but that wasn't enough to take it down. Alright, guys, that's going to do it. Sound off down in the comment section below which ones you are hoping for the most and why. Any kind of feedback you want to give, I'll try to get to the right people as always. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Thursday to show you which ones made it in.